Hi everyone, Jennifer here. I wanted to talk to you today about clutter. And I love to talk about clutter because I love to motivate people to clear their clutter. So one of my favorite types of communications that I receive from readers is when they say, Jennifer, because of your books, I got rid of 14 bags worth of clothes, or I went through my cupboards and I culled everything that didn't need to be there. And I get those emails almost on a daily basis. People tell me that they just have gotten rid of so much stuff and that their eyes are open to it now. And that is so wonderful for me to hear. I love that. I do talk about it a lot in my new book, At Home with Madame Chic. And a lot of people might think, oh, I don't need to read the book. Jennifer talks about it on the blog. Well, I just have to say that these little snippets of when I talk about things might motivate you, but it's truly reading the book and immersing yourself in the experience that gets you going, and it helps you form the habit in your head. I know it may seem that I'm just trying to get you to go out and get my book, which is also nice, but honestly, and I'm being completely serious, ask people who have already read it. When you read it from start to finish, it's the total immersion of the thought process, the entire story that makes you just want to clear through your stuff. So today I want to talk a little bit about the concepts in the book, as well as recommend some more wonderful books on clearing your clutter that I've read recently that will just get you so motivated to do this. Okay, so you all know that the real Madame Chic, her family, they had no clutter in their house. I'm talking zero. I did not see clutter the entire time that I lived with them. Never. There was never something that she needed to sort through. It was just the way that they lived. A constant, fluid way that they lived in their everyday lives, where they put their belongings away. There was a place for everything. Their storage wasn't cluttered up with things that they didn't use. They used everything that they had. So it was a cumulative way of life for them, just something that they always worked on. And it wasn't a struggle. It just simply was the way that life was. And so I talk about this a lot in the book. But there are two systems that I've personally developed for myself that have been so helpful with clearing clutter. And it's dealing with your hotspots and your stagnant spaces. Okay, what are hotspots? Hotspots are the areas in your home that just collect transient clutter. They're the areas that you walk by a lot. So for you, it might be your entryway table, or it might be the dining room table. It's just the area where everybody in the household seems to just dump their things. Okay? And these hotspots, if we don't regularly clear them, can collect clutter. And for us, this was our dining room table. We don't have a dining room that's off to the side. We have it basically one of the first things that you see when you walk in our home. So people would just put things down on the dining room table, myself included. And it was so frustrating because there is nothing that I can't stand more than items on a table that don't belong there. Right? So the table should always be ready for a really beautiful, elegant meal. It shouldn't have paperwork and pencils and dog leashes and whatever else on the table. So you've got to identify your hotspots and keep these clear on a regular basis. The other areas that I suggest you keep clear are what I call your stagnant spaces. And these are areas that are kind of in the back of your mind. Maybe it's underneath a vanity or on top of a bookshelf or behind a chair. You know, areas that you don't see that often, but you just kind of store things there, thinking that you'll get rid of them later. Stagnant spaces are just as important to keep clear because you can become accustomed to looking at those cluttered, stagnant spaces. And as soon as you know it, you're just living with clutter. It's just not right the first thing you see when you come home. So make it a daily habit to go through both your hotspots and your stagnant spaces and keep those clear, and you will really and truly be on your way to living a clutter-free life, or as clutter-free as you can get, especially when you have little children. So in addition to my Madame Chic books, I wanted to tell you about some other clutter books that I've absolutely loved. And this one is called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and it's by Japanese author Marie Kondo. Okay, so here's my description for this book. You know I love the movie Amélie, the French film. So if Amélie were Japanese, and if she wrote a book on tidying up clutter, this would be the book that she would write. It's a whimsical book. it's just, there's magic in it, and there's magic in the title, so I guess that makes sense. But she just has a way of writing that is so wonderful, and she's done so well. This is a bestseller in Japan, and it just came to America. So The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. She is a clutter clearing expert, and that's all she does. And so she's written this book, which is truly a manifesto for living a clutter-free life. And she has all these beautiful terminologies that she uses for the work she does, and you can tell that she is absolutely passionate about this. There are parts of the book that are in discrepancy with what I teach and what I talk about, and that's okay. I think it's good to read, all different perspectives. But for example, she does not recommend that you store your seasonal clothes, whereas I do recommend that you store them to be in line with the 10-item wardrobe concept. So there are certain parts of the book that I, don't necessarily follow myself, but the point of books like these is that when you read them, you are inspired to clear your clutter. And that is the only thing that truly matters. There's actually a really funny tweet that was out that my friend Juliana sent me from Women's Humor. And the tweet read something like, "The secret to a tidy home is to keep it husband and child free." Which I think is so funny. And Ms. Kondo does not have children, and I don't believe that she lives with anyone else. So yes, some people might think, yeah, sure, if I lived by myself, my house would be clutter-free too. And I happen to think that about myself. Actually, when my husband and I were married, before we had children, our house was a temple of tidiness. So yes, there are certain things I think, well, I don't know how this would work with kids. She doesn't have children. But I do hope that Marie Kondo continues to write books, and especially if she has a family, I hope that she writes one and adapts it to family life, which, can be very challenging, the clutter-busting war. Highly recommend this book. The other book that I'm reading right now on my Kindle is by author Jackie Newcomb, who is in the UK, and she and I are friends on Twitter, and her book is called Be an Angel, Clear That Clutter. And Jackie's book is just hysterical. I love it because when you read it, you feel like you're talking to your girlfriend over a glass of wine about funny clutter-busting things. And Jackie, she just has such a great sense of humor. It's another book that's going to get you motivated to just clean a drawer, clear out your closet, throw things away. Wonderful book. For Small Spaces, Catherine Betchin writes a book called Small Space Organizing. And this is fantastic if you live in a very tiny place. She has some great organizing ideas in her book. Other wonderful books, anything by the Fly Lady, Marla Siley, Emily Barnes. These women are who I got my 15-minute tidy idea from. So those are really wonderful too. If you have any other clutter-busting books that you like to read, leave them in the comments section below. Please share them with us. I feel that you can never have too many, and that it's not like you just clean your clutter and then you never have to think about it again. It's an ongoing process, unless you are Madame Chic and you just completely, naturally do all of this, which I'm not there yet, but maybe one day I will be. Let me know how you're doing. I'd love to know your process with getting rid of your clutter. Thank you for joining me on the Daily Connoisseur. I'll see you soon.